Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Choose a Happy Day show. My name is Lorraine Toth, and today I am here again with Deborah Hanlon. Woo woo! Welcome back, Deborah.
Thank you for having me back.
Oh, I love it. And we put it on our Facebook walls. Hey, write in, and someone wrote in, Carrie Ann, with a topic for us to discuss today, which we've never discussed on this podcast. So I'm excited, and it's about the deceased, the dead, the passed on. Right? I don't know how to PC this, but let's get into that today.
Let's get into that. I just recently watched a thing with George Carlin, and he had said that society's watering down our language to make things very soft and easy for everyone. And he says nobody's dead anymore now; they've passed away. And I was like, oh, that is very true. We're still awkward about talking about a topic that is pretty important to all of us because it's going to happen to all of us.
It happens.
I know, which blows our minds. I know. So Carrie Ann has a great question about this. Her question was that she had been sitting with her dad, right?
Yes.
And she had felt very comfortable with his passing away. And when he passed away, she wondered, where did he go? Like, where is he?
Yes.
So where are they? And this is a topic that's like hard to, I think our brains we're evolved enough to know it, but we're not evolved enough to really, really get it and grasp it. So where is he? He is no longer a location. There is no place where we go when we die. Like as in, you and I, we understand time and space because I'm over here, you're over there. My energy and consciousness is housed in my body. Yours is housed in your body. So like we understand the world through time and space and location, physical location.
Physical bodies.
So when we die, I mean, that's what we're essentially leaving. We're not gone, but we leave our location known as our body. Okay. We expand beyond it. So there's no like heaven. There's no place to go. So where is he? Hard to say because there's no space to tell you and describe where he is. So we say like they're everywhere, but we don't understand that either, because it's like, well, what do you mean? How could it be everywhere? It's like air, it's air is air. It's everywhere. Although we could argue that air is made up of tiny little molecules that create air. So there's no location, and yet his consciousness is beyond time and space.
Okay.
He's in that quantum realm that we don't understand yet.
Okay.
We just don't understand. Our loved ones who have passed are not limited by a body.
Okay.
They're not limited by location. And what do I mean by limited? Right now, you and I, we could only choose to either be here right now or somewhere else. We couldn't be here right now and somewhere else.
Yes.
At this moment. So we're limited by location. Your loved ones are not limited by location.
So in essence, someone could be here right now, right, with us? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So maybe if Carrie Ann wants to know, like, oh, Dad, is that you and the light bulb turning off and on? Like, how can people at home tune into that and be like, is that you?
Yep. So our thoughts are a little glimpse of what it's like to be deceased. And what I mean by that is if I told everyone watching and listening right now to imagine a blue whale in the Pacific Ocean, anywhere in the Pacific Ocean, your mind and consciousness went to it. We don't think we did because we're right here and we think we're thinking, but when we create the awareness of something in another time and space from us right now, we actually go to that place. We don't know that as humans, or we don't think like that. So where is he and how can we connect? Think of them. Talk to them. Okay. And you connect. Just like we all just connected to several different lucky blue whales in the Pacific Ocean that are going, what is that? What is that? Or they're not saying anything at all. They're not noticing. Okay. So it's hard to explain. It's hard to say, but it's very simple to connect. Okay. You can connect to, I can connect to my son right now and just kind of sort of check in on him, wonder about him, and he's physically still here in the physical. And somehow, in some way, he'll pick up on that. He might not be aware of it, or he might, and he might call me.
Yes.
Or, whatever. So it's really our thoughts that every time you think of them, you're connecting with them.
Okay.
Anytime you have a random thought of them, I always say it's like they just sent you the text. They just said, hey to you. Okay. You received their energy.
Okay. So maybe my grandmother, if I want to talk to her, send her a text, she's been long deceased, just think of her and then maybe she'll give me a sign, or like, how do I know she got my text?
Matter of trust.
Okay.
We won't really know because we're here in the human and we have these brains that are doubtful, like they doubt or they don't trust. So we just have to learn how to just know, like, oh, I sent them a message. I said hello. I'm connecting with them. And I always say to people, like, don't ask and beg for signs. That's when, and we all do, right? We're like, please give me a sign. Please show up. Where are you? Throw me a bone, something. But that's a consciousness of lack. So we're throwing out a consciousness of lack. Please, you're basically saying, you're not here. You're not here. You're not here. So when we want a sign from our loved ones, thank them. Thank you for letting me know you're here. Thank you for that sign. Thank you for that. I call them winks. Thank you for that wink. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay.
And anytime we say thank you, the consciousness of gratitude is an attracting energy. It's not a lack or repelling energy.
Okay.
So it's a matter of trust and practice.
All right. So don't be like, I need this to your spirit guides, right?
Well, we all do. I find myself, I say it all the time.
By 10 p.m.
Exactly. Well, I say to myself, my grandmother all the time, like, really, grandma? Like, where are you now? Show up. So we're human. We get stuck. I know better to do it that way, but we're human and we get into those patterns, and then you have to kind of come out of that lack and come out of that desperate space and be present and say, okay, I'm going to receive.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Carrie Ann, for writing in and that question.
Yeah, I hope we answered it.
Yeah, hopefully that helps you guys, speak to the deceased, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You could be like Deborah and see dead people. So my next question today, I wanted to talk about feminine energy and that need to do it all. And how can we as women, allow for that, masculine energy to go, and like, we don't have to have it all, right? We don't have to run the household and work and like just take it all on and be like, whoa. Like, how do we just chill out and go into our feminine energy?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I also think I can do it all. Sometimes I think because we're so capable, we can. So we do.
Yes.
So there is that. And things need to get done. We are very powerful energy, females. And do we think we need to do it all? We have that core belief probably that, well, if I don't do it, it won't happen.
Yes.
So we've got to kind of address that. Sometimes we overdo. Sometimes we over-control because we want it done this way.
Yes.
So if we do want something done a certain way and we are giving out the energy that person or people around you are not going to do it right, meaning your way, then you are going to have to do it. So you can either have it done collectively and be more tribal, or you can have OCD issues of needing things a certain way. And we have to get really honest with ourselves with that. By nature, women, we're very communal. And we have gotten out of our tribe state in modern society. We're less isolated. We don't operate in communities like we used to. So that's part of the reason why we think we can take it on. Years ago, I'm talking 5,000 years ago, we had a community of people to take care of things. So the consciousness that we get it all done is there, but we got it all done together.
Okay.
And we're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
We need our tribe. We need to rise up for each other. We need to, yes, of course, I'll watch your children. And yes, I'll help you with this. And yes, I have sugar if you need to bake something. All the little things, we really need to get back to that. Okay. Will we get back to that? I'm not sure.
Okay. But in the meantime, it is okay to ask for help and accept it, right? And really look inwards. Like, are you taking on too much? Like,
they are.
Let your mate cook you dinner. Let your mate take you out for dinner, right? Like it's okay.
Or, you know, people say, well, if I leave it to my partner, they'll just order pizza.
Okay. Eat some pizza.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. That's good to know. All right.
So yeah, we have to be aware of that. And masculine energy is a very, when I say stable energy, I don't mean that. And I always say mountain and sea. Like I look at female energy as like the ocean. It changes. It's sometimes calm. It's sometimes wavy. It's sometimes tsunamic. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now.
We're going to make it one.
Male energy is very like a mountain. It's solid. It is what it is. And so we have to learn how to blend those two. And it kind of comes down to expectations of one another too. Women, we change. We thrive on change.
Yes.
We do not typically like things to stay the same. And we're a little bit more challenging with the certainty principle. Like, oh, we'll just try it. We'll just try it. The male energy, and again, this is not an absolute. So if men out there are like, are you kidding me? I thrive on change. Of course. Like it's not like this is either or.
Yes.
It's just an awareness. But that stabilizing sort of rock solid, steady energy provides the bed, quite literally, for the ocean to exist. So the two energies work together. Both need to understand each other more.
Okay. And that's kind of like a whole Mars-Venus thing. And I maybe would like to point out the hormone situation. Men don't change every 28 days. Women do, right? With the hormonal fluctuations.
Absolutely.
So guys, if you're listening, your girl, you know, is a little like up and down, like just be aware we have hormonal changes that men don't have, right?
Absolutely. And it's not an excuse to, because sometimes people hear like, I don't want my feelings to be blamed on hormones because that's maddening, and never say that to a woman. I hope men know that. But there is a truth.
We know it, but we don't want to hear it, right?
We don't want to hear it. Like we do go into cycles of we're on top of the world. We can handle everything. We're very inspired. We go. And then whatever hormone kicks in that is sort of the antithesis of that also kicks in. And then it's, you know, everything is everyone's fault. And I'm really mad my kids didn't take the garbage out, or they didn't put the dishes in the dishwasher, and then I'm insane.
Yes.
So,
but then you're better like 3 days later.
Well, I'm fine. I'm back to love and light. Absolutely.
Yes.
So there is. I mean, I hate to say that that is a reality. Men also have hormones too. Like we don't really talk about that. You know, men's testosterone they can get quite moody, you know, and very in their own ruts too. But for some reason, that's not discussed.
No, it's not.
Why is that not discussed? Probably because in general, women, we're taught to connect, communicate, talk. We want to talk about how we feel. We want to talk about it. We want to vent.
Yes.
Men are typically, not all, raised to kind of go off and process. So they're not raised to talk about it. So I don't think I've ever heard a man talk to another man about how hormonal they feel.
I've never heard that actually.
Gosh, guys, I'm raging angry today. I think I'm off a little. They don't do that, but they are having it as well. It's just a different way of processing it.
Okay, good to know. And I think it's important also for us as women, right, to give ourselves grace. So if you're having a day or 2 days, like give yourself the grace, and it's okay, right? Like let it die out, you know, don't jump off a cliff, like just breathe.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. Yes, absolutely. And I'm a boy mom, 3 sons. I always say I learned so much about men and male energy from raising my sons. Like now men make sense to me. Now I get it. I'm like, oh, they're very physical. They're very visual. They do something and they move on. They're not very like, oh, let me rethink that thing I did in the past so that I don't do it again. You know, like, and again, it's general. I know people are going to be like, that's not true. My husband's like that. I'm talking in generalities. They are in the moment. They did this. They said this. They get angry. They fight it out. yell it out, whatever, and they're done.
Yes.
That's not how we work.
No, we replay it over and over with different
gosh.
scenarios. Well, if I did this, then that wouldn't have happened, right?
Totally. I'm so terrible.
Yes.
I shouldn't have yelled. I'm like, oh, if maybe I am the problem, I'm psycho, blah, 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 all the things. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think we need to normalize that,
Yes.
that with levity,
Mm-hmm.
use levity, use humor of like, yeah, I was a little off in that moment.
Yes.
Or listen, I always say to my kids, they're like, wow, they constantly say, your voice is mad annoying, right? And I'm like, my voice would not be annoying if I didn't have to say it 90,000 times. By that 90,000th time, I am stark raving lunatic mode.
Yes.
So there's that.
Okay. Yes.
Does that
Good
help?
to know. That does help. And then my next question for you was, so to do with that whole feminine energy, like when we're so desperate for attention, do you just settle on a date that isn't at your standards? I have so many girlfriends. They're like, well, I'm going to give him a try, or I'm going to go out on this date, but I'm not excited. It's not going to work. Like, I feel like they're settling because they've been single for so long. Like, what's that?
Not good.
Okay.
It's not good. It's one thing if you give someone a chance because, you know what, I didn't really like the socks that he wore with the pants. And, if it's a little like picky things like that, it's okay to go, I'm going to give him a chance.
Yes.
He has a good heart. He was very connective. He was whatever you're looking for. So you have to kind of be aware of like, is it like something very simple or is it something deeper? If you're not feeling it though, just stop right there.
Just don't even go out. Don't waste your
yes. Don't waste your time. It doesn't really feel good to go against the alignment of your own energy field.
Yes.
It just doesn't. So we can think that we're, I'm trying to practice and date and I'm trying to get a sense of who I want. But if your body is saying like, this is not for me, stay in alignment with yourself.
Okay.
That's the most important.
Stay home in your pajamas, save the makeup, right? I just watched Sex and the City last night where the episode where Miranda stays home and bakes a chocolate cake and swears off dating. So it's okay to go through that rather than settle and be on a miserable date for 2 hours and waste your time, right? That's okay?
Absolutely. And the other person's time. And it does come to expectations. Like if you're not feeling it, but you're like, I'm going to give him another chance. There's a part of you that's saying, I might be able to change this one.
Oh, no. That's never good.
No good. No good. That's unfair to the other person too.
Yes.
We have to remember like, no, they're not for you. It's not a match. That's okay. And when I talk about this a lot of times people say, oh, I hate so-and-so. They see a celebrity. I hate them. Or everyone's got an opinion about everybody. And that's so unnecessary, right? So if we're on a date or we're not caring for someone, we don't like someone, it might be nicer to say they just don't resonate with me. It's just a nicer way of being honest of like, they don't resonate. They're not a bad person. Somebody loves them. Somebody likes them. Not everybody's bad.
Okay.
They just don't resonate with you.
Yes.
It's not in alignment. It's a much cleaner way of the world operating versus, oh my God, they do this, they do that, because they might not be that energy with someone else. We are chemistry when we come together.
Okay.
So if you're on a date and it's not for you,
do you get up and pay for your drink and say, I'm sorry, you don't resonate with me? And they're going to look at you like, what? But that's okay, right?
Well, yes, do that. So we can start normalizing the term.
The resonating. Okay, perfect.
Resonating with me.
That's great. So I have one more question if you have time, and it just popped into my head. So I know we talk a lot about dating, but people that are in relationships, okay? So, maybe a husband and a wife or a husband and a husband, and they're like, the one person has this topic on their mind that's like burning into their head and they just want to talk about it, but they're waiting for the right moment. And I feel like if you bottle it up for too long, it's just going to explode. So like, how do you nicely bring up a topic that you need to discuss? Call a meeting, so to speak, in your relationship. How do you do that without blowing up and like verbally diarrhea?
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Very important.
Yes.
Because when you do bottle it up, it's energy. Bottled up energy, suppressed energy is going to have some sort of outlet. And in the human existence, it often is in a more explosive on them or an implosive, I'm the worst, very self-deprecating. So energetically speaking, if there's something that's on your mind that you have to bring up, you need to get brave and bring it up and say, listen, this is on my mind. This is weighing heavily on me. I'm awkward. I've been trying to think of, be very honest. I've been holding this for 4 months and I don't know how to say it. And it's bothering me. You have to get really honest. And if you're in that relationship, hopefully the relationship is sound enough for each other to hear each other's truths.
Yes.
Which is not easy.
Yes.
But yeah, it's never good to hold on to something for a long time because it will come out.
Okay.
And it probably will come out not well.
Yes.
Not well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And should we say I don't want you to fix this. I just want you to know my feelings. Is that important? I know sometimes men want to be the fixers, right? Is it okay to just preface it with, listen, I don't want you to fix this, but this is how I feel? Or, yes, I've been thinking about this and I don't need a response right now. How can we take away the pressure of us letting that bottle up and churn for 4 months? It
depends because you have to be honest with yourself. Is this something you really want them to fix? Or are you trying to be nice and smooth it over by saying, listen, you don't have to fix it.
Okay.
Because that might be an escape route.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? To say oh, don't worry. I just need to express it, but I don't need your input when the truth is no, I really need your input on here. So
yes,
it's your best bet with everything in life is honesty. True, authentic self-honesty. And the people who can handle your honesty are your people, and the people who cannot handle your honesty are not your people.
Okay.
And that can change. They can be your people for some time and then not. It's really hard, but we need to get that sense of self of saying, the honest truth, I'm terrified to bring this topic up to you. I've been sitting on it for so long. I'm worried about your reaction to it. I'm worried that if I say this, you're going to leave me. All the things.
Yes.
So you could preface it with the honest, vulnerable truth of it.
Okay.
And we don't like to be vulnerable, but my God, life is so good when we are.
It feels
with the right
better,
people.
right? Yeah. And you're not trapping it in your body, which, was a past topic we talked about when trapped emotions in our body and the chakras blocking down your back hurts, right?
Absolutely.
Like the sacral chakra.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
Let it out.
Let it out and be clear.
Okay.
Be clear. And that's another thing. Maybe we're not clear, but we can say that. I'm not really clear on something. Say it exactly as it's coming up for you.
Okay.
You can't go wrong. And nobody can argue your honest truth. No one can argue that.
Okay.
That's something that's very important. You're not saying you're right. You're just saying this is my honest truth of how I feel.
Okay.
So it's not well, you do this, and when you do this, that makes me feel this.
No.
It's speaking your truth and there's no argument there.
Okay.
And someone can tell you, no, you don't. I mean, they do. The people do that. They can say that, but then you would go, wait, no, this is what I feel. This is the truth of what I feel.
Okay.
And yes, I'd like your perspective. Maybe my perception of it is incorrect.
Yes.
But my feelings and my truth is true.
Okay. This is how you make me feel. And then I know for me, sometimes I want to have conversations and then my mind goes blank. So is it a good idea to write it out ahead of time so you have your bullet points that you can run through, so in the heat of the moment, you're not how does that work? It's good to write it down?
Absolutely. It's great to write it down, the things that you need to cover or to things that you need to make sure that you say. Again, but be mindful of your expectations of their response.
Okay.
Because that's where a lot of breakdown happens. I hope that I say this thing and they come closer to me. They might not.
They might go the other way.
They might go the other way.
You got to be okay with that.
We have to be okay with that because the first step is really learning how to express what is true and authentic and real for you.
Okay. Sounds great. Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Well, I feel like we covered a lot. We
did.
went from dead to living and
back again and caterpillars and butterflies.
I love it.
Lots of things.
And if you're just, tuning in to Deborah she speaks to the deceased. She also leads retreats. She's written a book. She was my mentor. I got certified in Reiki from her 10 years ago. She's just an amazing source of information and knowledge and just living a better life. And you can find her at deborahhanlon.com, correct?
You've got it.
Facebook, Instagram, all the things.
All the things.
Are you on TikTok these days?
I am. I haven't uploaded some new content. I will. I will in
maybe
September.
this will help us.
Exactly.
And she's doing a retreat to Costa Rica in March of 2025 as well. And highly recommend you guys check that out. There's information on your website. Yes.
Absolutely. Everything there.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for watching. And I really hope that this episode, helps you learn how to be happier. And just remember to like, share, and hit that subscribe and share it with your friends that maybe want to talk to the dead or maybe want to have that conversation with their spouse, And thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a happy day. Bye.
Bye.